Darren going to give away a free t-shirt, ask and answer a question, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching The Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! Edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. This month is Birth Defects Awareness Month. Now, birth defects are structural changes present at birth that can affect almost any part of the body. They may affect how the body looks, works, or both. Now, birth defects can cause problems in overall health, body development, or how the body works. And birth defects may range from mild to serious health conditions. Now, birth defects can happen at any time during a woman's pregnancy, and the most happen during the first trimester or the first 3 months of pregnancy when a baby's organs are forming. But birth defects also can happen later in pregnancy when a baby's organs are still growing and developing. And here in the U.S. each year, 1 in 33 babies is born with a birth defect. And some birth defects don't need treatment or can be treated easily. But other birth defects need quick treatment because they can cause serious problems or even death. Now, the most common birth defects are Down syndrome, cleft lip and cleft palate, clubfoot, congenital heart diseases, gastroschisis. Now, gastroschisis, for those of y'all who don't know, is a birth defect of the abdominal wall. That's when a baby is born with some of their organs outside of their body as opposed to inside. And then hearing loss, microcephaly, which is when a baby's head is smaller than usual, and then neural tube defects, or NFTs. Now, these are birth defects of the brain and spinal cord, and the most common NFT is spina bifida. Now, I know at least 1 or 2 people with any of these birth defects, and I can only imagine what they go through on a daily basis. Now, the cause of most birth defects are currently unknown. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this, but it really bugs me when folks pass judgment on folks with birth defects. Well, really it bugs me when folks pass judgment in general, but it really irates me when it has to do with folks with birth defects. You don't know what these people are going through. You don't know what these families are going through. You see, that's the problem with folks now. We want to pass judgment. We want to condemn, but we don't want to have conversations. Look, there's nothing, I'm kind of getting off subject here, but there's nothing wrong with having conversations, folks. Don't think that you're above having conversations or you're too proud to do it. Because we do better when we know better. And if you do have a conversation, let the other person talk. Don't talk the whole time. And don't talk over them, and don't dare forbid them to talk. Because I have news for you. If y'all do this, I have news for you. Conversations are not one-way streets. If you're having a group conversation, let the entire group take part. But and especially when it comes to folks with birth defects, especially that. I mean, we just need to do better by ourselves, and also if you're watching this and you're living with a birth defect, or you're a family member of someone living with a birth defect, or you're a close friend, this episode is for y'all. I love y'all. And this is a Birth Defects Awareness Comic Hero tee. And if you would like your very own, you can find them on my website, IamTheComicHero.com, for $17. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, on last week's episode, I asked true or false. In the comics, Carol Danvers was the first female Marvel character to take on the mantle of Captain Marvel. Well, the correct answer is false. It was actually Monica Rambeau who was the first female Marvel character, and she took on the mantle first in 1980. And by the way, Monica Rambeau also has gone by the code names Photon and Spectrum, and she's currently Photon. By the way, she has her own miniseries, which is actually one of the books I'm reading. And Carol Danvers didn't become Captain Marvel until 2012. But you see, Marvel Studios led y'all to believe that Carol Danvers was first. But no, they only went with what was popular, and that was Carol Danvers. Monica Rambeau didn't really come on the scene. Well, as a little girl, she came on the scene in the Captain Marvel movie, and I'm talking in terms of Marvel Studios, not in the comics. And then we see her later as a full-grown adult in WandaVision. Oh, by the way, watch that. Even though that show is a few years old, watch that show. You'll learn so much more about Monica Rambeau. She was brilliantly played by Tiona Paris, and hopefully we'll get to see more of her. But the correct answer is false, and 8 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, the name's been entered in the drawing for a free tea. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tea for this week's episode of the show is... Curtis Mills from Shreveport, Louisiana. So congratulations, Curtis. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a DC question. And this is a very easy question, and I'm expecting a lot of folks to answer. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to answer the free tea question of the week, give the correct answer. Don't be a sparty pants. That just takes the fun out of doing this. All right, here's the question. Which founding member of the Justice League bought a condominium for Superman and Lois Lane as a wedding gift? All right, you probably know what the answer is already, but I'm going to give the hints anyway. All right, the first hint is that this character made their first appearance in Detective Comics number 27 in 1939 and was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. Yeah, I bet you know the answer now. So if you know it, go ahead and answer. All right, but I'm going to keep going. All right, the second hint is that this character is part of what's affectionately known as the Trinity, with Superman and Wonder Woman being the other two. All right, the third hint. This character has been voiced by Will Arnett and the late, great Kevin Conroy. And then the fourth and final hint, and this is a really, really, really dead giveaway. If you don't know this, then you've been living under a rock. All right, Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson have all played this character on the big and small screens. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tea on next week's episode of the show. Now, I didn't have time to do a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight. I know I have quite a few requests, but I didn't really have time this week because I've been very busy. So with that being said, I have to ask. Any questions?
Questions I walk around in. Questions I didn't thrive in. Questions I will survive in. Questions.
I only have one question for this week, and it's from Chad Blackwell from Shreveport, Louisiana. He asks, who is your favorite villain in Batman in terms of both the movies and the comics, and why? Well, Chad, all right. It's the same in both the movies and the comics, and it's the Joker. Now, the Joker is one of the most deadliest villains in comics. Make no mistake about it. But there's one person that the Joker will never, ever kill, and that's Batman. Now, the Joker, I'm not saying because he doesn't kill. I'm saying because the villain, a superhero is just as good as the villain. Or a superhero's mettle is tested is only good depending on how the villain tests them. And the Joker is no exception to that rule. He does not kill, but he tortures. He tests them. I mean, he'll kill just about anyone else before he'll kill Batman. And I mean, he has tested the mettle of Batman time and time again. I mean, he's killed off Jason Todd. He once cut off Alfred's hand. He even kidnapped just about everyone in the Bat family, with the exception of Batman, and tortured them. I mean, he's that person that no matter what, he always likes to test Batman. He just won't go after him, he'll test him. I mean, he may be crazy, but he's very smart. He's very methodical in terms of his approach. So definitely the Joker. All right, really love that question. And again, I'm sorry that I didn't have a Throwdown Showdown ready for y'all. I'll have one for next week's episode. I have a bevy of them from about 3 or 4 different people. So with that being said, I think the next 2 episodes I'm going to do Throwdown Showdowns, episodes 431 and 432. Bank on it. All right, now it's time for Comically Speaking. So without further ado, let's talk comics. All right, there's only one thing we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and that's a brand new book that just came out last month. And honestly, I thought that it was coming out either this month or next month, and that's John Stewart, The Emerald Knight. Now, this picks up where the previous volume of Green Lantern left off. Now, some folks were led to believe that it was canceled, but it really wasn't canceled. This book, just like the previous volume of Green Lantern, is written by Jeffrey Thorne with art by Marco Santucci, Michael Atiyeh, and Rob Lee. And this one picks up, again, where the previous volume of Green Lantern left off, where John Stewart accepts a job, a position, as a brand new position as the leader of an elite squad of Green Lanterns known as the Emerald Guards. And they're tasked with protecting the multiverse and time itself from the new gods. Now, Thorne, I mean, he's a great screenwriter, he's a great producer, and then he's also great at writing comics. He previously wrote the a Knight Rider series for IDW, and he's just come off of writing all 6 issues of Blood Syndicate Season 1. And let me tell you, I would prefer his work to anyone. So I'm definitely going to buy the book when I go back to the store next week, and it will be in the comic books I bought this week segment. But I'm not going to. I've already beat myself up already about not knowing when that book came out. But here's the thing: as long as I read it, and as long as I enjoy it, that's all that matters. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is Avengers Forever number 13. Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 11. Black Adam, number 7. Deadpool, number 3. The Flash, number 791. the Hulk number 11. Immortal X-Men number 10. The Invincible Iron Man number 2. The New Champion of Shazam number 4. Oh, and I'm all in on this book. Nightwing number 100. Radiant Pink number 2. Spider-Man The Lost Hunt number 3. Strange number 10. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 136. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Armageddon Game number 4. Venom number 15. And finally, Wakanda number 4. All right, that's 17, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 11,835. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Here's a question for next week's episode of the show. Which founding member of the Justice League bought a condominium for Superman and Lois Lane as a wedding present? Now, here's the hints again. The first hint is that this character made their first appearance in Detective Comics number 27 in 1939 and was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. The second hint, this character is part of what's affectionately known as the Trinity, with Superman and Wonder Woman being the other two. The third hint, this character has been voiced by Will Arnett and the late, great Kevin Conroy. And then the fourth and final hint, Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson have all played this character on the big and small screens. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tea on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Curtis Mills from Shreveport, Louisiana, won a free tea on this week's episode. All right, here's the road ahead for the show. On the next 4 episodes, I'm celebrating Mardi Gras, y'all. This entire desk is going to be dripping with Mardi Gras swag. Going to have a Mardi Gras, in other words, going to have a Mardi Gras tablecloth. The Mardi Gras tree is going to be back. Going to have some coins, beads. Going to have a Mardi Gras glass. And I'm also going to wear 4 different comic hero tees. On the first 3 of those 4 episodes, I'm going to wear a green, gold, and purple one, respectively. And they're all going to represent the 3 principles of Mardi Gras, or what the colors represent. Now, green represents faith, gold represents power, and purple represents justice. And those 3, to me, are the 3 things that adversity wants no part of, because adversity always loses. And may or may not even have a few Mardi Gras delicacies. So stay tuned for that. And then on episode 435, I'm going to celebrate Heart Health Month. Next, next month, the month of February, is Heart Health Month, and there's so much about we need to take care of ourselves, and there's so much about heart health that's taboo, and on that episode, I'm going to set it straight. Now, really love doing this episode. I really love sharing my love of comics and life with y'all, and I'm always going to continue to do that. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome, and as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. And to all those that are living with birth defects, I love y'all, and there's nothing y'all can do about it. See, that's what it's all about love. It's all about helping each other. It's all about, and it's all about listening. It's all about having conversations. Because if we just keep to ourselves and be set in what we already know, then we're not really going anywhere. We're just standing still instead of moving forward. Always strive to move forward, folks. All right, I'm Victor Nunley on The Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 431, the first Mardi Gras episode. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.